Hello everybody, Zeidoktor here with Typical Manga Fan, and this episode of the Typical Manga Review is dedicated to Bleach, chapter 685, which is titled, Ironically.
It's actually titled The Perfect End, which is why he's saying ironic.
Oh yeah, just give us a few minutes, we'll tell you why.
So as it turns out, this is actually the penultimate chapter, not the last one. Although I think we did mention in the last one that we weren't sure if that was really the case, because we said like, oh, climax, is that really the end? You know,
Plus,
they
there's
do
the
something after.
fact that Nisekoi had extra pages while Bleach did not, which is something I did bring up.
Did we mention that, by the way, in the last review, or did we do that off record? Because
I don't recall offhand, but there is so much on there, we probably did at some point, I'm almost
yeah,
sure.
well, so if you guys are trying to correct us or whatever, we did make a point either on record or on the record. I don't know which one, because we do talk about Bleach, when we don't record, when we're not recording,
Yeah.
that we suspected that this was not actually the end because
Nope.
the translation stated 2 weeks from, and they kept changing, like 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from including this chapter. Is
Yeah.
it into the climax? Is it what the climax is not necessarily the end? It could
Yeah.
actually mean like there's usually a chapter like after the climax, stuff,
Yep.
stuff like that. So we were just like, oh, it's probably not the end, or maybe.
Yeah, I think it's going to confirm now that the next chapter will be the end, which will be
Oh no,
in
no,
2
the next
weeks.
chapter is flat out the end. It says
Yeah.
right here.
And that'll be in 2 weeks because next week there's going to be a break.
Yeah, because it's obvious because he's going to make like a 30
Well,
or 40.
It's a break for all of Jump.
Oh really? Well, he's going to use the opportunity to make a 30 or 40 page end of
Yeah,
it.
it's a holiday week over there. I think it's like the Oban
Yeah,
festival.
but I'm pretty sure it's going to be like a 30 to 40 page chapter because it's the
Oh,
end.
yeah.
Like didn't Naruto have like 30 40 page thing?
I would have said yes, but I wasn't really keeping track. I know Nisekoi had a long chapter, final chapter.
Yeah. So we start off with immediately 10 years afterwards. Wow. I guess I kind of saw that coming, to be honest
Well,
with you.
we aren't quite there yet, I don't think. But you actually start out with Sun Sui just kind of like having a drink in front of a monument. Like I remember someone on a board, I felt like commenting like, "Oh my God, backgrounds."
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, so he's talking
Oh
about.
yeah, okay, it's
Yeah.
just next line. I can't believe it was
Yeah, it's literally the next
yeah.
line. It's basic. I mean, it's basically 10 years because everyone's done and cleaning up. So I mean, so yeah.
Mhm.
And they basically rebuilt the Sokyaku, but like bigger this time, I think, right?
Oh yeah,
So they're just like, oh, good thing that we managed to avoid that disaster 10 years ago.
you did not avoid anything.
Yeah, and he says, I'll be back and talk some more afterwards. Ukitake. So basically, we get a confirmation that Ukitake is dead.
And he's
Uh,
pretty much talking at his grave.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because when he got, it seemed such a pointless death because all he did was slow Yubak down by literally 10 seconds.
Yep.
And the plot device that there was like the limbs, like that he was the first one to introduce the fact that there are limbs out there who have like sentience, that went nowhere.
Yep.
Literally the only thing the limbs have done was just say, hey, this Quincy is also the heart or also the left hand.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, they have these special powers, but to be honest with you, they could have gotten those special powers from Yuobak himself, and I wouldn't have questioned it either
yeah.
way. Yeah, exactly. It literally went nowhere.
Yep. In any case, our next page gives us the title, which is just dripping with irony for all kinds of reasons. A perfect end. I mean, seriously, it's the final chapter of a series whose quality has long been in question, having followed, and it's being, whose finale is being rush jobbed the way it has been.
Well, it could end up being like the way I felt with Naruto, where
And I'm sorry, and it's the penultimate chapter, the next to last chapter. Go ahead.
well, I mean, it's obviously going to it's obviously supposed to be like, oh, you think this is the perfect end, but in reality, something else is going to happen. It's supposed to be ironic. It's intentionally ironic.
I know, but yeah. And in any case, though, we kind of move on to Mayuri. It's like apparently one section's finally done. Like they sure took their sweet time finishing it. Now he can expand his secret underground network. Jeez, from anybody else, that's ominous already.
And he has someone talk to him, and it turns out to be Nemu, Nemuri Hachigo.
Yep.
Is that 8, right? That's 8.
Yes, yeah, Hachi is 8.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like Nemu, the next Nemu.
But she's actually she's actually 7 because he kept her brain, right?
I believe so, or at least it was a kind of, but it's still kind of like the next in line, so she gets
Well,
the new number.
it's because she has a new body. I think that's probably
Yeah.
why. Like, but it's the actual like Nemu that we've known, just in a new
Yeah.
body. I'm assuming.
And she seems to be a little more vocal because Mayuri makes a note of pointing out that she's yelling like, "Right away, Master Mayuri!" I swear, how you wound up this way is complete mastery. Ah, my apologies, Master Mayuri.
Well, I think it's because she was so quiet. I think it subconsciously wanted, or at least maybe intentionally let this happen because he wanted her to speak up more. The one thing I'll say this is that I still don't buy this. It just seems too artificial because we didn't have any proof that he's not abusing her. Like the problem is the reason why in a similar relationship that I think worked well it was in Naruto, which is Zabuza and Haku. The reason why that worked well was because Zabuza basically, well, first off, we never actually see him abusing Haku like physically, so it's not as like really hard. Like we're not really as angry at him as we are at Mayuri.
Yeah.
But also, it's more sympathetic. That's the way I want to say. But also that he literally cried and said, "I regret all that shit that I said to Haku about him being a tool." Mayuri just says to him, he's still like Mayuri even to the end of the fight was still in basically denouncing, "Oh, I only care about her because she has all this information that I don't want to get rid of." And they show this,
and she's pretty much his key to surpassing Urahara.
Yeah, and the fact that in the end they say, "Oh, look, he's dreaming of Nemu." Okay, so he subconsciously cares about her, but it's not as big as actually like the final character development is that he's supposed to do it consciously, because they're saying that he's always cared about her in some little way, but at the end of the day, it's still subconscious. It hasn't gone to the surface yet, so it's still not actual full character development like the way Zabuza did, and that's why I don't like. You can say, "Oh, he cares about her off screen." It's like, okay, off screen, but you know what? The biggest things in stories, in movies, and in comics is that you should show, not tell. Yeah,
and that's not something we've been getting a lot going here.
Yeah. So moving on to Kenpachi, he's basically like, hey, everyone's basically like sucking up to him, right?
Yeah. Apparently this isn't the first time thing either, because somebody mentioned like chapter 137. I guess they acted this way around him too.
Yeah. It's basically back to normal.
Yeah.
So he's basically like, shut the hell up,
And Ikaku's got the lieutenant's badge on his arm there.
Yeah, and it's because Yachiru's no longer there, and he's like, my sense of direction was always bad because of Yachiru. That now that she's not around anymore, there's no way I can get lost.
And it's like they're also debating like where they're actually supposed to go in the first place.
Well, first off, she is with him. She's his sword. She will always be with him. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's so. And honestly, he all he needs to do is just go Bankai. She's right there with him. So I don't know.
In any case, they're gonna be having. There's a big event here for it, and then it's for Captain of Squad 13. So that's why they're kind of debating if it's supposed to be at Squad 13 or Squad 1's barracks. Anyway, they go charging along, and we see Shinji and Hinamori just like watching them go off. Like, well, wait, why are they going that way?
Yeah, so they're still morons.
Yeah.
So basically, Hinamori's like, "Hey man, I can go get them," and Shinji's like, "Nah, leave it," and they just talk a bit about how what kind of captain he is.
Yeah, basically he only gives like actual orders for frivolous things.
Speaking of captains, we have a new one.
Yeah.
It's Iba.
Yep, that was he's the successor for Komamura,
who has been turned into a dog and is obviously probably still alive, but just can't do anything. He probably ended up being like his I don't know if his father, grandfather, whatever.
I think his grandfather.
Yeah, and
speaking of things that came out of nowhere, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just
at the very least, that was like logical leap, I guess.
Well, no, but see, that's the thing though. It's like it makes sense from a division standpoint. Like, oh, he was the lieutenant, now he's captain.
Well,
but it's just
actually talk about the fact that Komamura had that big animal grandfather thing.
Oh no! I'm talking about the Iba becoming captain.
Yeah.
It just like he showed no. The problem is they've shown to us that the gap between lieutenant and captain is ridiculously huge, right?
Yeah.
And that it takes 100 years to get to learn your Bankai and manifest the ability, blah 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 blah. So you're telling me that he's either done all this has been doing this off screen the entire time, or like it just feels weird because I just feel like he wasn't a guy I thought would become captain this quickly.
Yeah, but at the very least, compared to the others we're going to be seeing before the chapter is done, he at least is aware of it. Like he's actually like training and strengthening himself because he wants to feel like he's more than a captain than just name only.
Yeah, and also another thing is
so
that
to his credit.
Yeah, but but the thing is, so to become captain, you still need to have a Bankai. So somehow he's got his Bankai.
Yeah.
And the one thing about Iba is that we never actually seen him in action ever. Yeah. We don't even know his Shikai. So, but that's I just feel like if he was this close to becoming captain, he should have been a lot done a lot more work in the arc, because he didn't do anything.
Yep.
And so
there's a little bit of banter between Hitsugaya, who is no longer Bishigaya, just regular Hitsugaya again. and Rankiku.
I was talking to my friend Kelly about because she just caught up with Bleach, and she said that's not how aging works.
Aging does not work that way.
And she said she agreed with me that it was kind of stupid because the idea of aging is to gain experience. So to become older in 2 seconds undermines the entire point of Hitsugaya's character in trying to get older. Because the actual act of getting older it doesn't mean anything. It's what you do as you get older. And so it didn't look as good. It wasn't good.
There's a little scene here where they pretty much make fun of Shuhei Hisagi because despite his claims of having mastered his Bankai, nobody's ever actually seen it.
You know what? F you, Kubo. That's a bit. He basically just mocked that. He basically shoved it into our faces. That is just cruel. You hype up a guy saying, "Oh look, he's got his Bankai," and you don't show it, and then now that he's come back, you're just like, "Oh, you're trying to make fun of yourself for it." That's not funny. That's just disappointing.
Hitsugaya makes the very dramatic comment that the fact that Suhei hasn't had a chance to show off his Bankai is a good thing because it means nothing's disturbed the peace all this time.
I feel like someone said that before in a different manga.
Oh, it's just one of those things, I think.
I think it was Naruto. Yeah. I think was it? I think it was Naruto who said,
it could very well be.
Oh yeah, it was Naruto because it's something like, "Oh, we haven't needed weapons, or we haven't needed some type of whatever for 15 years because we didn't need to."
Personally, what I like to think just as kind of a half serious, half joking idea is that Suhei's Bankai actually has a memory element to it. Nobody remembers seeing it. I don't know, it's just half serious, half joking. And he doesn't realize it yet for all his claims of mastery.
Because to master something you have to train with it. So then how would you know you mastered it if your memory's got erased of it?
Well, it might not affect him. That's why he's so flustered about this.
But then he would know though. So I don't know.
Well, he is kind of a dumbass.
I mean, if you master your Bankai, that means you know it in and out, basically, right? So
that's why I'm saying, despite the claims of mastery,
that even idiocy doesn't explain that. So anyway, everyone's basically gathered, and Solarfun's pissed off because Kenpachi's late and all. And as it turns out, we have another surprise. Yep. And first off, I don't know. So Isane's sister got switched to the. I think she switched to the 4th division because she's a lieutenant now.
Yeah.
And Isane is now captain.
Where was she before?
She was 13.
Oh, that's right. She was one of the double lieutenants under Ukitake.
Double third seats, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I get that she was essentially the only the highest ranking member after Unohana died. I understand that the 4th division is a medical specialist squad. That said, Isane captain is just.
I mean, you may as well have put Hanataro there.
Well, I mean, she's obviously stronger than Hanataro, but I mean, it's just. Here's the problem. The problem is that we don't know we only know some squads have certain specialties, so we don't know what happens when that specialty squad's captain either dies or gets promoted, right?
Yeah.
Because what they did with 12th division was they just took a guy, Urahara who was from a separate division, and he just so happened to be also good at science. But in this case, in the Goten 13, there was literally no one else who was good at healing, right? That said, they still stated that you have to become a captain. You must have a Bankai, and you got to get the examinations. But basically, at the end of the day, you need a Bankai. So meaning that you have to become basically powerful. To become a captain, regardless of what division, you have to have a Bankai and basically be at a captain's level of power, roughly.
Also, before we move on, this bottom panel here is where they're saying that they'll proceed with the promotion ceremony of the new captain. I like seeing Sunsui just kind of leaning over the speech bubble.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
And another thing is just of all the people who I thought would become new captains, it's you got Renji, you got Rukia. We'll mention that later. But you got
spoilers, dude. Spoilers.
But we do these chapter assuming that the person has read it.
Yeah, right? I know. But at the same time, also Lisa is apparently there too.
I mean, just knowing people how they react. The moment I say Rukia and then not say anything, they'll probably be like, "Hey, wait, what about Rukia being captain?" Because that's how people are.
I'm joking. Go ahead.
I know,
actually,
but
quick question: on the right side, who's that guy in the far back?
Oh, that was the double lieutenant of the 1st division.
Okay, so he's captain of another one then.
No. Well, no. Remember, he was the original third seat of the first division, and Kyoraku actually got in an argument with Central 46 as he said he wanted to bring in now with him, and they're like, oh, but you already have this guy who's gonna be the new lieutenant, and he's like, well, I want 2 lieutenants then.
Yeah, but it looks like now he's a captain.
Wait, what?
Well, everyone here is a captain.
Wait, no, the guy on the right?
On the right, on the back, far back. No, not next to Shinsui. I mean, wait. Like next to Shinji. Like it's Kenpachi.
That's Rose.
Okay.
That's Rose.
I could not remember him.
Wow. Well, that makes sense because, yeah. But just gonna put a last thing like Isane being captain. I just don't expect that because she was like the weakest lieutenant. She was nowhere close to seeming to be achieving her bankai or reaching captain level. This is just an asinine decision because he found out he realized that there was no one else who could take over the medical division. So he just artificially said, "Hey, Isane magically got super powerful in the next 10 years." 10 years. This is not. Is he retconning the 100-year thing? And 30 years additionally to master the body.
Like I said, I had thought before that there was like a rule that you could do it at captain's recommendations, but you said that still requires Bankai.
Both you need Bankai. You just don't have to do. Both need a Bankai. The only one that doesn't need Bankai is the Kenpachi way, and only 11th Division does that.
Okay. I think only Kenpachi's ever done it.
Yeah. No. With the exception obviously of number 2, because the problem is it had to do with retcons. But basically, Kenpachi was not the only one who does it. Everyone in the 10th division does it. I mean, 11th division does it. All the Kenpachis have done it, except apparently the second guy, because Unohana is still alive.
Yep.
So, it was an 11th division thing.
In any case, like our next page is like a big old display of Rukia in a captain's coat as captain of Squad 13.
Yeah. This is her captain promotion. Honestly, we all knew this was coming.
My question: who's been running that squad for the past 10 years?
Usually it's the lieutenant that runs it.
Okay, and I guess he was already a lieutenant, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what happened when Gin and Aizen and Tosin went away. The lieutenants just took over the duties. Although actually the fifth division, Hinamori was down, so it was probably 3rd seed.
Yeah. Well, in a way, isn't that kind of like the same thing that Isane did? I mean, granted, Rukia has more justification, but still.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean she should be captain. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, that's the thing, though. Like, if Rukia just got captain now, that means for 10 years she's been the lieutenant of basically the one who's been overseeing everything, right? That means just because the captain is gone doesn't mean you get an automatic promotion to the captaincy, right? You have to earn it. So that just makes the Isane thing even more questionable because that means she had to have earned it, not just be there because Unohana is gone. So you're opening more plot holes, Kubo. Also, Rose and Kensei are back alive. Just want to point that out.
I was wondering, didn't at least one of them die, or both of them die?
Both of them died, got turned into zombies. Now they're back.
Okay, are these the ones that
They're the Visors.
Are these the ones that Imagination Boy killed?
Yes, they are.
Okay, or quote unquote killed.
I don't even know what the hell happened with that. I don't even know. Apparently, they were actually dead. They just got resurrected by Zombie Girl, and then Mayuri decided to actually resurrect them. Because
all that carnage going around, he must have been in a good mood.
The difference is that Hitsugaya wasn't actually dead when he became a zombie. Those two were. So that's why it's really weird that he actually did resurrect them. Although Orihime could come in and do something, but who knows? She's been useless for years.
Yep. And I'm sure the whole decade has not helped.
Okay, so I will say this: Rukia as a captain looks cool. Like like when she was a lieutenant, I was excited. So now that she's a captain and succeeding in Ukitake's position, I think it's a cool full circle of her character because it just makes.
At the same time, she looks really tiny with that coat.
Well, she is a tiny person.
Yeah, but I mean, her hands don't even go out the sleeves. Well, I guess none of them really do.
You know, actually, I thought that. Well, I mean, actually, now I take this back. It was initially thought that the people who had sleeves were the senior captains, but I forgot Tosin actually didn't really fit that. I
just figured Kenpachi was the only one who didn't. I didn't really pay attention to it.
Because Byakuya didn't have it either. Gin didn't have it either. Like a lot of the new captains didn't have it. So people thought, the ones with the long sleeves are the older ones. But I'm like, wait, Tosin. So yeah. But no. It just seems like I thought. Okay, so I thought, and me and my friend Kelly thought that she should have been part of the final fight to come full circle. But I'll say that this is the next best thing. Like her becoming captain after 10 years. This is legitimately a good, like, because she worked her way up. She's worked really hard, and she had a Bankai. So her being a captain makes sense.
Yes.
She's had 10 years to also master her Bankai. Oh, hey, maybe that's how Sonic got her Bankai. She went up to the Royal Palace and got the 3 days training, or did the Urahara thing.
Yeah.
And
for all we know, it could have been it.
but that's such a cheap thing to do. I mean, but you still need time to master and all that. I don't know. I just feel like Asane just isn't who I expected to become captain. Like even she's even out of place. They pointed out how out of place it feels for her. So anyway, going to the last page, we now go back to the 12th division, and they're like, oh, where the hell did my? Oh yeah, by the way, Mayuri's not there.
Yep. Instead, we have like third seat Horn Dog there.
Yeah, because see, he mentioned that they wonder if maybe Mayuri's gone to the captain's promotion, but obviously since we saw that he wasn't there, they said, oh, probably went to. Oh wait, actually the guy did confirm he went to the investigate the reconstructed sectors, and blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, also this guy got a promotion too, but I actually believe it because it makes sense.
Yeah.
He's a lieutenant now, the three-horn guy.
Oh, that's right, because obviously Nimue can't do it.
Hey, okay, yeah. So then they said, "Oh crap, we're getting very strange readings in our sensors. It looks identical to nearly identical to the ones that Yuwak Ryasu emitted 10 years ago." Yep. Dun 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 dun.
Dun dun. Yeah.
I don't know. We don't know what happened to Ichigo and his friends after the fight. So literally, this could be anything. Like, okay, so of the 1,000 theories that are possible, there's the ones I can think of that are viable are this: is that the first thing is when Ichigo killed Yuha, kind of like how Pirates of the Caribbean worked. By killing Yuha, he had to become the Soul King himself, because that's how Yuha became the Soul King. Who knows? Like maybe after he killed Yuha, because they needed a Soul King, he had to become the Soul King in place of Yuha, and therefore he is stuck up there for 10 years. And this is him coming down, kind of like Orlando Bloom. Like he comes back every 10 years now, because of his thing with the
Flying Dutchman.
The Flying Dutchman, yeah. I mean, you watched the movie, right?
Only the first one.
Okay, the third one, spoiler, but it's kind of important to what I'm saying. He kills Davy Jones, and because he killed Davy Jones, he takes the place of Davy Jones, and he can only come back every 10 years.
You kill it, you bought it, basically?
Basically, like, that's what it says. Like, if you kill Davy Jones, you have to replace him, because it has to be a captain to the Flying Dutchman. So sort of like the Soul King, there has to be a Soul King. So basically, like, by Ichigo killing Yuha, he basically, I guess, made himself quote-unquote worthy of taking the Soul King mantle, and therefore has to become the Soul King, and maybe can only come down every 10 years. If that's the case, I think Kubo just is a Pirates of the Caribbean fan. That's pretty damn similar. Another situation is that this is Aizen, because Aizen was actually absorbed by Yuha, right? So maybe this is Aizen coming back, and maybe what happened is also what's going to happen is that maybe Ichigo did become the Soul King, and this is Aizen doing the only good thing he's ever done. Well, not the only, but like the last redeeming thing he's going to do is take Ichigo's place as the Soul King to basically free Ichigo, right? That could be a possibility.
Could be.
Another possibility is that Aizen's already the Soul King. Like, Aizen came back and was the Soul King, and this is him just visiting, or maybe this is Ichigo,
like,
who...
Whatever gave you the impression that it was going to be Ichigo who was coming?
Yeah. Or this could be another one, or in case where Ichigo didn't become the Soul King, but he was able to absorb some of Yuha's powers, or maybe is now exhibiting some of Yuha's powers, because remember, he does have little Yuha Buck inside his sword, right? Yeah. So maybe this is him, like coming to visit. Yeah. So maybe another possibility is that he actually did not have to become the Soul King, and they somehow found a replacement. Maybe they use Aizen, maybe use someone else, and this is Ichigo coming back from the real world, just saying, "Hey, Rukia, I'm visiting you because I know today's your promotion." And maybe he's coming with his friends. Like literally anything. Like this, I literally just stated like 4 different possibilities right there, and you can do a lot of combinations with them. Because frankly, because we don't know what happened to Ichigo, or Aizen, this opens up a lot of possibilities. I think the only possibility that I don't think is actually going to happen is that this is actually Yuha coming back. Yeah. Also, another thing is they said like this is nearly identical, not identical. So that means this is close, but not exactly. And it would make no sense to bring back the final villain in the last chapter like this, right?
Yep.
But he's not. I don't think he's going to do a sequel. Like they say, a special announcement. I think the special announcement is going to be the anime's coming back because now that. But in terms of a sequel, like I don't see unless he's going to another magazine. In which case, it's kind of a dick move because you basically by doing a 10-year time skip, you kind of wrap almost everything up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that it's just don't do a Boruto, okay? And you said this is going to be the last arc, so let's, just mean it, mean it. Don't say, oh, last arc of Bleach. Don't be like freaking Kubo-like and say like, oh, did you think this was the last chapter? Actually, it wasn't. I never said it was.
I've seen some people suggesting maybe like this might be part of a move to take Bleach into a monthly format, or like Ultra Jump or something, whatever they call it.
Well, that's a dick move because he said this the Onreich arc was going to be the last arc. So if he's gonna be like, oh, well, it's the last arc of Bleach, but not the last arc for this universe, it's such a dick move. And
not to mention, they could have also just made a change during the story at least, because Claymore did that before it ended.
Yeah, but Claymore didn't say, hey, this is the last arc. That's it. After that,
I think it was kind of in the midst of it, though, or at least very close to it either way.
Yeah, well, they did a time skip, didn't they?
This is well after that.
Okay, well, I started Claymore like right after the time skip, so I can't really recall. I don't recall that much of Claymore. I do know it was a monthly, but I do know that it switched, but I can't really, my memory is not really good with that because I read it a long time ago. But it's just, I don't know. I just feel like Bleach is time. Like, look, the fans who keep saying they want more and more. Let's be real here. Bleach's lifespan is coming to an end. Like, whether you think it's been good or not, things do need to end. If you drag things on for, like, Bleach has dragged things along for a long time, but you drag things on even longer than this, it's like that's just even worse. And I just let it die. Like, even if it was really good, even if it's like what I think to be One Piece, like when One Piece's chapter, when the final chapter comes, I'm gonna say. If I'm happy with it, I'm gonna say, I don't want more One Piece, even though I like the manga, because even the best things in the world need to come to an end. I actually don't even think One Piece is the best thing in the world, but it's just saying, like, even with stuff I do like, you have to understand that when it ends, and you shouldn't. It's good to want more, but it's also good to understand that there shouldn't be more, because otherwise you can easily screw it up with a sequel, and that happens quite often. We all know what happens when we had that stupid sequel, right? Like, Disney does that all the time. That stupid sequel.
Yeah.
So why just if you make a masterpiece, just leave it. So if you think Bleach is a masterpiece, and you boggle my mind in saying that it is, but if you really do think so, then shouldn't it be more reason to end it as it is now? No, but yeah. So I mean, frankly though. Whether I like Bleach or not, to me it should end. Like, whether you think it's good or not, I think everyone should agree that it should end, because I think all the stories that Kubo can come up with that at least can come back full circle have been done. Like, if he makes up another story, it would have to come out of his ass, because there's nothing else that's really, like, you can do a prequel like with the original Code 13, and I'd be okay with that. But you can't do I don't think you should do a continuation, because then at that point you just have to come up with new things. And don't bring back Aizen for that. I mean, look, Aizen is the original. It's Ichigo's villain. Let's not have him be the villain again, okay? Or Yua-Bak or whatever. We've been through those guys. We've had our time, and honestly, I think we've had enough of them as the villain. So, I'm just all against the idea of a sequel. Like, it just to me it makes no sense. Unless it's for financial gain at that point. But to be honest with you, like, you can always argue that a lot of bad things should happen because of money. You should never use money as. I mean, I'm looking at it from a creator's perspective. I mean, if you're gonna say I'm doing this because of more money, I can't argue with that, because I understand that that's what business is. But if you're talking about from a creative writing standpoint, which is what we're doing, we're reviewing, then I say it shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, so. I mean, like, I don't know if I would expect a monthly thing to even be the case myself.
Well, who's gonna? Oh, you say?
Just because, like, we would not be getting such a slapdash effort at this point if that were the case. I don't think.
I mean, it's the thing is though. It's not like he cut it halfway. He actually finished up the arc, right?
Yeah.
So it seems he instead of saying, hey, we're switching, he decided to wrap things up first. So if he's gonna switch to monthly manga, what plot is he gonna make up? It doesn't seem caring to decide to instead to wrap everything up and then decide to start something with new out of nowhere after everything that's happened, because you basically did an FU to a lot of fans with the way this ended. you lost a lot of people's trust in going to the sequel. Why isn't it kind of a ballsy move to say, hey, let's do it. Here's a sequel. Read it.
Yeah.
I feel like he kind of has to earn back the trust if he's going to do that. And I think it's just too gone. I mean, you're going to always have those crazy Bleach fans who literally nothing that he could possibly do will ever take away their fandom. But other than that, I feel like for the average person, Bleach has done little to show that it can do better. I think that's about it for that. I don't know, but I think the special announcement though is the anime.
Very possibly. I mean, that seemed to be the other next most likely one, that bringing back the anime to do the Vandenreich arc specifically.
I think that is the biggest viable. Like, I think that's the most probable of all the scenarios, because that's the one that actually makes sense. I just feel like, is there any magazine? I mean, so Bleach has a core of 3 million, supposedly, right?
Yeah.
So maybe a magazine might try to get that, but then one could argue, why does Shonen Jump get tired of it? Because think about it, if Shonen Jump got tired of it, that must mean the numbers are doing bad. If the numbers are doing bad, that means that there's less of a reason for another magazine to pick it up, unless that magazine is going to take a risk, right?
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of business that unfortunately we are not privy to. We don't know why they did certain decisions. We don't know what other magazines are thinking. Maybe one of the magazines is like, hey, we'll take a chance. Maybe the other magazines are not. We don't know. Honestly, I just think that if Bleach has a continuation, it's a big FU to, honestly, the fans, because to be perfectly honest with you,
yep.
it's dragged on for such a long time. To drag it on even further is just like, come on, man. And again, some fans will obviously say, oh, I want more, but those fans, again, will always want more, no matter what,
and won't care about the quality.
And they don't care about they'll think it's always good, so they do care about the quality. It's just that their perception of quality is different from ours.
Same thing, really.
I don't want to be so provocative to say that my quality is better than your quality, but it's just. I just think that Bleach got so bad to the point where it got really obvious, to the point where it even hinges on objectivity rather than subjectivity. Because sometimes, obviously when you say something's bad, you dwell on this objective-subjective line. I just think that Bleach got so repetitively bad that it's just sort of like it's hard to argue even on a subjective level, anymore. Because Naruto, you can still say it's good. You can make that argument with Naruto, or with a lot of manga that haven't been doing so well. But Bleach is just sort of like it felt like it sort of it loved being in its own shit, a pile of shit,
Yep.
Like I don't know. It just felt like it didn't care about the quality, and just like, oh well, it feels like Kubo just said, I know these 3 million people are gonna love whatever I do, so why should I put in the effort to make it better, because I know that these guys are gonna love it no matter what. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like he stopped caring. I think that's the best way to say it. It feels like he stopped caring, and then
I think we discussed that before. I think too.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like he stopped caring, and that's why I just can't stand Bleach. It's not because it's bad, but because I feel no passion from the author anymore. All right, I'll let Ben and you. I think I've pissed off enough Bleach fans for today.
Yeah, but I don't, like I said, I usually cover a lot more than I usually have to worry about here, so we'll call it at that. That has again been Bleach chapter 685, anything but a perfect end. Go ahead and take us away.
It better be worth the wait, Kubo.
It won't.